Recording in progress. We have started. I am honored to be here with the very own Joe Franco of Team Franco. You may have seen him on his podcast or one of his shows or one of the many, many, many other shows. But he took time to be with me today to talk to me, which is so, so, so awesome. I'm over here gushing. I'm a fan. I'm a friend, but I'm also a fan. So I'm going to start with the I guess the beginning, and then we can work our way up to Team Franco. Okay.
Sure, sounds
All right.
great, and thank you, Yvonne, for having me.
So you're most welcome. So tell me, how does one sit back and go, you know what? I think I want to train people, and I want to, get into that bodybuilding stuff. How does that happen?
Oh, wow. Well, we're short on time, but I'll give you the abbreviated version,
Okay.
okay?
All right.
All right, so about 30 years ago,
30. All
30
right.
years ago, and
Whoa.
I was in college. I ended up being and studying exercise physiology.
Oh.
I graduated from Temple University, and from that, I then entered the commercial fitness world. Well, actually, the corporate wellness fitness world where I worked for the EPA. So basically, I
Oh.
ran their fitness center, corporate wellness center. It was fantastic, loved it, great time. But after about a year, 2 years, I realized that I couldn't climb the ladder.
Oh.
So you're young. I was eager.
Hmm.
Then I got a job at a commercial fitness center in Philadelphia, one of those fancier type gyms in the city. And I
Ooh.
was the fitness director. Great job. But then I quickly learned that I'm not a boss,
Oh.
where I had my own staff that I had
Okay.
to schedule and take care of, fire, hire, and all that stuff. But at the same time, that's when personal training started to become a thing,
Right.
like the mid 90s. And I would see these guys and girls on the floor. I'm like, what's going on here? And they were personal training.
Right.
And that was when the light bulb went off. So mutually, I left that job. They knew I wasn't happy. And I just then went for it. When the internet was just coming out, I did my own website, and we used to call it FIT, Franco's Individualized Training. That was my first
Ooh. Fit.
website.
I like it.
Fit Franco again. So with that, I was doing basically working in multiple gyms, building up clientele, and then I reached a point where I didn't have to go all over and travel, and all my clients were coming to where I lived at the time in my parents' house, and
Okay.
I trained my clients in my basement. So, getting to the whole bodybuilding portion, I was already competing, right? I competed at the age of 19, a
Wow.
bunch of times in the 90s, and then because of the website and because bodybuilding coaching really wasn't a thing,
Right.
I got one or two clients that found me on the internet, and they were males. It was just male dominant bodybuilders first in the late
Right.
90s. And that's how it started.
Wow.
So what was really funny, and I had about five or six bodybuilders, and one of them coined the phrase, "Oh, Joe, it's like you got a team now." And actually that same guy from well over 20 years ago that coined that phrase developed a logo that I still use to this day.
Oh, wow.
That you see on my shirts and everything.
Yes.
And so that's how it just
Love
evolved.
it.
I wasn't looking to become a bodybuilding coach or, I mean, I competed general health and fitness, variety of people, ages and levels. That was my goal. I wanted to help everyone,
Right.
but that niche didn't happen on purpose. I wasn't looking to do that. So even to this day, I have a lot of clients online, but a lot of them don't have any aspirations of competing.
Right.
They want to be like a competitor where they enjoy the structure, the discipline, but not take it to the stage. Although quite often those people then are like, you know what, Joe, can you tell me a little bit about competing now? That
Yes.
happens. So that's the short story of how I got to where I am now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I did not know that story.
Yeah.
Look at that. Holy cow. So now we're Team Franco.
Yeah.
Hello. Logo, shirts, jackets, everything.
Yeah.
So what's your most, I guess, it doesn't have to be your best or your worst, but what's one of the stories that you could share, hopefully, of all the years of training that you go, okay, that one was a good one, in a good or a bad way, I guess. I know they're all stories, but it's funny you say you don't want to be a boss, but to be someone's trainer, you're kind of like their
Yeah, but
boss.
see, what the thing is, with my coaching and my philosophies, when people say, Joe, thank you so much for doing everything. And honestly, I use the phrase, I just lay it out for you to play it out.
All right.
Where, I give them information. I actually coach them, make weekly changes or more frequent depending on their goals. And if they follow and they have the patience and the discipline, I feel anyone can reach a goal, as
Okay.
you know. And so that's why I never like taking credit, or I'm not their boss. We like
Okay.
to work together because it's just more than gathering body weights and data. It's gathering feelings and emotions. And if they're happy with their progress, taking into
Right.
consideration of their lifestyle. I mean, ups and downs, what I always term life stuff. But that's yeah, yes. I never thought I love just being me,
Okay.
just doing what I'm doing. So that's why the whole boss thing didn't work out. It was 2011, and it was the battle for the belt. It was my August show.
Okay.
Okay. So it's always at the end of August. It's always that same weekend, the weekend before the weekend of Labor Day.
Battle of the Bell is held where?
That's Burlington, New Jersey, August 24th this year.
We'll
So
see you there. Okay.
I had all my judges lined up, and it was the Monday before the show. So one of my judges, she was a client at the time. She was a figure pro for the OCB. She was coming from Maryland, and she sends me an email. She's like, Joe, did you hear about the hurricane? I was like, hurricane? No. And I was like, no. She's, well, if it's really bad weather, I'm not going to make the drive. I said, all right, hon, if you can't make it, whatever. But I dismissed it. I'm like, hurt. So hits Wednesday, and there's now talk. I don't even know the name of the hurricane, but there was talk of a hurricane coming up, really nasty, the Mid-Atlantic area.
Yes.
And I emailed the woman that's in charge of the facility, Christine. I've known her for years. And she's like, no, I don't think it will be a problem. You know, Come Friday, or actually come Thursday night, Christine then emails me because the threat of the hurricane is real. And she tells me, Joe, and this was back when we used to do the split format, like prejudging in the morning and finals
Right.
at night.
Right.
For example, let's just say the finals were at 5 o'clock. I don't even remember, but it was split. And she sends me an email. She's like, well, Joe, because of the threat of the hurricane and because our school is used for, safety for the community, you have to be out by 4 p.m.
Uh-oh.
I'm thinking,
What now?
so I was like, all right, what am I gonna do? And the show did go on, and
Look at
how it
that.
went on. I mean, a few people didn't come, but Friday it was nasty weather. It wasn't crazy. So the show started on time. And what we did, I called my MC. I said, listen, don't come because I don't need you. So we did the judging. We skipped over the presentations, and then I emceed and just gave out all the awards, and we're out by 4 o'clock. So
Okay.
that was really the first time, and it was by accident, of doing a straight format because of the threat
Yes.
of the hurricane. Yes. So that is one to remember, because everyone that's competed in that show will, if they come to one of my events or posing, we bring it up.
Yes.
This is like, it was the most unusual, but they were so grateful that we still did it. Like, I didn't scour, like, you know what, I'm canceling it.
Right.
Honestly, I remember driving home. It was raining hard, but it was nothing like what we've had with Irene or any of
Right.
those major hurricanes. They just got really scared because it was supposed to hit South Jersey direct where the show was at.
Right.
And that was that. So that's a story. And that happened 13 years ago that I'll never forget. At least a
You'll never
promotion
forget it.
story, yeah.
Yes.
That we
That's a
had
good one.
yeah,
I
we had
love it.
yeah.
I love it. You were talking about the stories. It reminded me of one of mine. I used to expedite shows and do other people's shows
Yeah,
for that other league with Steve Stone.
that's
And
right.
he taught me like everything I know. But he has sent me to Connecticut because we had two shows on the same weekend. So we had to split up the team. So I got to run the one that was going in Connecticut. And I got there on time, and everything backstage is set up on time, and everything is perfect. Everything is great. and then all the lights go out
Oh, you're kidding.
in the entire grid.
Oh, the whole town.
Not just where we were.
Wow.
I cried for a moment.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, pull it together, right? I was like, okay, you told me everything. You told me everything to do. What do I
Wow.
do when the power goes out? He's like, well, you're gonna have to wait it out. He's like, see if there's some place that has some good lighting. And actually, the cafeteria did. He goes from outside, and maybe you can get like them to go in there. See if they're up to it. See if you got anything you can do for the music that they can connect. I was like, it
Yeah.
was crazy. But thank goodness it was only like 2.5 hours, and it did finally come
Okay.
back up, and we were able to put on the show.
Yeah.
But for that
That's good.
minute,
Well, the competitors at that point, yeah, they're probably upset, but they want something.
yes,
They want something to happen. And that reminded me
yes.
of another event that I was judging, and Marianne was just started to tan. It might have been like 2013. And God bless his soul. It was one of Matt Shepley's shows way back when. It was in
Okay,
Delaware. So Marianne was already down there, tanned the night before. And I'm like, listen, I'll drive down morning of Delaware, not too far from here. And everyone's waiting outside the school. And I see Matt, and if you remember, he had a very dry sense of humor. He comes up to me, he's like, do you have any tools to break into the school? And I'm like, what, dude? Everything was locked. There was no custodial, no one there to open up the school. So we were sitting there, and he got on the phone, and they ended up letting us to go into a different school, like in the neighborhood. So we had
oh
to add
wow,
everyone. It was a small show, but then we had to transplant everyone, set up everything, the trophies, hustled and everything. Yeah,
oh wow.
it was locked. There was no one there. So
Oh,
that's another story that I'll never
yes.
forget. Yeah.
These are good. So when are you writing your book? Because you can compile
Uh,
all these.
yeah.
It'll be Team Franco book. I would love it. So you spoke about my favorite mermaid, one of my most favorite mermaids.
Yes.
Yes, Mary Ann. So how does she come to be our tanner extraordinaire? How does that
Well,
all happen?
that's a really good story too. So I guess it was around the same time, 2011, 2012. She showed interest being more involved, helping out at the shows. And she actually has a background, I don't know. Well, her major is actually criminal justice. She worked as a private investigator. We had the kids, stay
Uh-huh.
home. Then she wanted to get back into things. And then she actually got her license, not cosmetology, but it was something that she went to, a school for 15 months. So
Okay.
whatever, all good stuff. She's always wanting to do new things. So a client of mine at that time was working on the Pro Tan team.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And she couldn't make the event. And the event was the Nationals for NPC, and it was being held in Miami.
Okay.
And this client of mine, she's like, well, I know Marianne was interested in learning how to tan. This is a great experience.
Oh, oh, oh.
So
Really?
she flew down to Miami.
Good
She met,
experience.
she
That's
met some
like
of the girls.
dropping her
Well,
in the
no,
fire.
exactly. All right. She met some of the girls. She flew down, and basically she was thrown to the wolves because
Yes.
the competition had 700 to 800 competitors.
Yes.
Hundreds of competitors were just lined up,
I have
and,
tanned
and
at
they were
those
just like
shows.
hitting them all
Yes.
up with tanning. So she was thrown to the wolves, but that taught her a lot about tanning. And ever since then, she's been the tanner for all my shows.
She she had a crash course, and it's a
Yes.
do or die. So,
Yeah,
and it's like constant. I mean, it's just constant.
sure.
And then
Yeah.
touch-ups. And then so if you can imagine, if 700 and then you got to touch them twice or three times or
Yeah,
something, it's
yeah. Well,
like,
they
come
had a
on.
bunch of women, and it was just like I said, she
Yeah.
was thrown to the fire, but it's no better way to learn that way,
Oh yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
it was good at first
That
experience.
is awesome. That is so cool. All right, so you got to talk about my other two favorite Franco people. That would be Miss Angelina.
Yeah.
And I saw her when she turned pro.
That's right. You were at that show. Yeah.
Oh, and Anthony. I love to say his name that way. I know you probably don't
Yeah.
say it that way, but I like to say Anthony. So are we going to see him across the stage too?
At some point, I mean, he's eager. He wants to do it. He's
Yeah.
starting his first year of college. So
Wow.
I just wanted to pump. I mean, he trains very hard. He's grown. He will be competitive as a teenager, But as a dad, parents pump the brakes a little bit because focus on first year going away to school.
Yes.
We joked around like, oh, if you want to do something next summer, let's see.
Okay.
Take your time with it. I mean, you've met both of my kids. He's more laid back. He's very
Yes.
responsible. He's just laid back and rolls with the punches, but he'll nudge sometimes. Angelina, she does want to compete again, as a pro. She wanted to compete much sooner, but I was like, listen, slow down again because you're still in school. You want to concentrate on this. You're ahead of the game, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you just the way that you are driven in your discipline. A lot of adults don't do that.
No,
But you want
that's
to
true.
apply that to the rest of your life and, school, building up your career. I
Right.
mean, I think she's studying exercise physiology, the same thing that I did. So
Okay.
we'll see where she'll go with that. But yeah, she has all the potential in the world just to keep on going. Uh, I'm excited for both of them to see what they continue to do. But again, like one of my philosophies when it comes to coaching is that bodybuilding is a big part of your life, but it should never be your life.
Okay.
And I've learned over the years that the most productive and most successful clients of mine that win pro shows, they focus on family, career, out other stuff, and it's just not always tunnel vision.
Right.
Um,
I
and
understand.
that's what I like to teach my clients and especially my children, just
Okay.
because bodybuilding, as and you see it on your stage, you'll have men and women in their 60s and 70s. You don't have to get everything right now. It's a constant evolution of getting better and
Okay.
just being patient and allowing yourself to do that. So,
I love that you think that you speak of patience because I think a lot of times people, we are in a very fast-paced world and we are in New
oh yeah, for
Jersey and New
everything.
York
Yeah.
area, so we're definitely even more
Yes.
fast-paced.
Yeah.
So I guess especially when people are trying to do this, that they expect, hey, I did it for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Why
Well, I
haven't I
mean,
reached my goal yet?
no, but that's always been the case. I mean,
Right.
ever that's always been the case, but it's worse now. And I don't always blame the person, I blame the technology,
Right.
right? It's just Amazon, Grubhub or whatever, boom, 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 boom. Everything comes to our fingers, but that does not apply to the human body.
Right.
That has not changed. Now, that is something that I, work with a lot of clients, but I'm fortunate enough because I've been doing this so long, many people understand and respect my philosophies. So if they hire me, they have an idea already
Of who you are and how it's
of
going to
who I
be.
am and my approach. Like
Right.
if you want the quick results in 3 months and you think you're going to reach them, you may hire XYZ. I don't have a problem with that. That's why I think I'm very blessed at this point in my life because I have these people that are similar to me and appreciate my philosophies when it comes to coaching. Yeah, they're real life people, and it doesn't mean they're not winning shows. They're
Right.
doing great, but they're also balancing life. And I think that is the biggest key when it comes to fitness or reaching any goal,
Right.
accelerating your business, relationships. You got to balance everything. You can't be focused on one thing throughout.
I'm working on that balance, Joe. I'm working.
Um,
I'm working on that balance. But I did want to just gush for a minute because the Franco family, for the OCB world, you guys gave me Lorraine and still do give me Lorraine such a big hug. I mean, coming through the
oh,
door, being new promoters for this organization, everything. You guys literally opened up your home
oh,
for
that's
us in Myrtle Beach. We went down there. Myrtle Beach gave us a big hug. So you made it seem like this is the way the world always is. No, it's like we have sunshine and butterflies, but seriously, it just gives us more drive to do this.
sure.
And like you had mentioned, this is like a hobby gone crazy for us,
Yeah.
right? We started off as a hobby, and it's like, oh, we can do this, and we're gonna do it where in a whole nother state. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, that's a challenge. Yeah. Well, I mean, the feelings are mutual. You guys are great, and I love helping people that are just great, good people, good cookies. Both of you two are good cookies, and we want to see you succeed,
Thank
so
you.
I appreciate all the help at my shows. So it's all mutual. And that's to me, that's what life is about, building
Aw.
relationships, and you guys rock.
Well, I
Yes,
love when you ask us, are we like, you're gonna have to get somebody
yeah,
to
well,
stop
I
us
still
at the
have,
door.
yeah,
Are we?
yeah.
Like, I've
But
already got my
but
stuff.
doing a show not in your state, I don't know. That takes a lot, and I give you guys tons of credit for that. So
Well, Myrtle Beach has opened up to us, so that's just
yeah,
been
no,
amazing.
that's awesome. Yeah,
But speaking of shows, you have three now, right?
I do have three.
Okay,
Yes,
so you want to run those down for us, please?
yes. May is the Jersey National Open. That's always been in Burlington. That is the bigger of the three shows, just
Yes.
because of the time of the year. Battle for the Ballot is August. I've been running that one since 2006. And the newer of the three, maybe, I don't even know, 15 or 16, is the Franco Classic.
Yes.
And that one has gradually built, where it was a strong number last year, and I anticipate it to be the same. That's in November. And actually, this year it's in my hometown. It's in Bucks County, Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's so funny because I went dancing last night and somebody told me they were probably targeting a show in November, and I'm like, which show?
Oh yeah,
I'm like, which
yeah.
show?
It's amazing, like, the interest in that event. It's just, spring and fall, like middle of the summer, like I've come to realize that my August show, it jumped up, but it holds steady. It's not pulling the hundreds and all of that, which is fine. Um, the funny story about the Franco show was, many years I wanted to add a third show.
Oh,
But
okay.
at the time, it was like not fitting in the OCB schedule. I'm like, all right, whatever. So Chad, one of the officers, who's an awesome dude,
Yeah.
he actually sends me an email. He's like, Joe, yeah, we're on board. You can have that fall show. And I was asking him, all right, cool, thanks, man. I said, here's some names that I'm thinking, because I was trying to get like a Philly-based name, right?
Makes sense. Yes.
The show first started off in Fort Washington, with the suburbs of Philly. And I was like, oh, thinking these corny names, with really no meaning. And I'm like, oh, Liberty Bell Classic or Philly, whatever. And he writes back, nope, Franco Classic. I was like, dude, no way, man. I said, I'm not. He said, nope. He's like, you earned it. It's the Franco Classic, and I'm not going to hear it. So Chad Austin named my show, not me.
Thank
And
you,
all you guys will
Chad.
think, I did not name it.
He's like, it
So
wasn't
it
me. It
still feels
wasn't me.
awkward. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right. So we talked about everything except for, yes, Team Franco. So you've talked a little bit about your philosophy,
Yes.
but how do how does tell me more about Team Franco, I guess is what I want you to do.
Well, I went over
So
briefly how it started,
right,
and that was like the early
right.
2000s. And then it just took off, where, basically I tried more. I'm not a great social media guy, never have been. I do what I can, but it's just basically Team Franco is the philosophy of having discipline, patience, making it a lifestyle.
Okay.
And to me, when I work with someone that does want to compete, I want to give them an opportunity to have a great time, and then to decide if they want to compete again. Make it a lifestyle so they can continue to get better, rather than just crush someone.
Right.
Because I just actually did a podcast on this subject about coaches.
I'm sorry. Where can we find this podcast?
You you could just go on Spotify or Apple Music and just type in Team Franco, and it should come up by now.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, like in any business, as you know, you're a businesswoman. There's good and bad, right? I mean, there's always that way.
Right.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of people that come and go in the coaching world, and they will just crush their clients, where they'll do tons of cardio, don't eat. Well, you're not giving that person a real feeling of what a prep could be, or that opportunity to look great on stage, but also to say, you know what, this was a good time. I
Right.
want to do this more. So that's really one of my philosophies. I mean, I push someone as hard as they can be pushed, but nothing that's so crazy where they're going to say, screw this, I never want to do this again. So
Gotcha.
that is something that's near and dear to my heart, that I take pride in, and it works. I mean, it's just being real with people. And it's just, over the years, it's just grown. And what really was interesting, another story, now you got me going with stories, Yvonne.
Yes.
How it really developed was, I was doing full-time personal training out of my house now, like 25 to 30 clients a week, hustling and all that. And then the financial crisis of 2008. I don't know if you were in business back then,
Oh,
but
yes.
the mortgage
Real
thing,
real estate.
yes. So that hit.
Yes.
And I probably lost close to 40% of my clients
Whoa.
because either they are underwater in their mortgage or they lost their job, whatever the case may be, because personal training is a luxury.
Right.
That's not a necessity. And I was already doing online coaching, but then I really shifted my focus to doing remote coaching because I can work with people all over the country and the world. And actually, it's less money than if you were to come and see me once a week, over time. So that also gave me the confidence of like, you know what, put more effort into this end. And doing so, that really helped build up Team Franco also. So again, something that was not in my control, took it and it just happened and you work with it.
Look at that. You are
So yeah.
good at making lemonade out of those
Yeah.
lemons, sir. He's like,
Yeah.
you make this work. That's so awesome. But this is just how you are. You are so humble and just so but I did see you when your daughter turned pro. I did see you have a moment.
Yeah, that was
Just
a
a little
tough one.
moment.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
said, look at him, proud dad.
Yeah,
Proud dad.
yeah.
She was amazing, by the way. I mean, she is
Oh, she
amazing,
was. Yeah,
but
thank you.
that was amazing. I was thrilled to be there. Like, oh my,
Yeah.
like I know it's your baby. It's like so cool, so cool. So let's just say them again. Your shows are got to do the plug. Come on now.
It's yeah, every year. Burlington in May, which is the
Yes,
Jersey National Open.
yes.
August, always the same weekends in Burlington, which is the Battle for the Belt. And
Hmm.
I believe it's November 4th is the Franco Classic in Doylestown, Pennsylvania.
Yes. So if someone's seeing this and they go, well, listen, I got to find this guy because he sounds like he could be my coach. What should they do?
You can visit teamfrancobodybuilding.com, but it's always best to also email me. My
Okay.
email, fitfranco@verizon.net. That's how I always finish off my podcasts. I mean, I'm on the socials, Instagram, Facebook, but I take pride in you can contact me directly or visit the website.
Okay. This is cool. So, I wanted to do this because yes, it's so funny. It's ridiculous. I should have done this like almost 3 years ago because we always are passing and we're doing shows and we
Sure, yeah.
we do the hugs and the kisses and then we leave. It's like, wait a minute, wait a minute, something's missing here. There's something that I'm supposed to do. And I'm still on a hunt. I'm going to get your mermaid. One day, I'm going to get her to
Okay,
sit down and do
yeah,
this.
yeah.
I'm going to get
She's a
her.
little she's a little camera shy.
A little bit, just a little bit,
Little bit,
just a little
yes.
bit. I'm gonna get her and this and the rest of the family as well. I would love
Okay,
to do
yeah.
that. But I
We'll work on
appreciate
it.
you taking the time to do this with me. I can't wait to get it all edited for you and so we can get it out
Awesome.
there. And I'll see you soon, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll see you in a few weeks.
There you
I
go.
appreciate you, Yvonne, and Lorraine also. You guys are awesome, and I'm
Thank
glad
you.
we crossed paths.
I
Truly.
am too.
Yeah.
It's like the Franco family. I
Yeah.
can't do that without a hug.
No.
Thank you again.
You bet.